My mom, 54, and dad, 60, want us, me and my boyfriend, to buy their house because they're having a divorce. We were thrilled because we've been searching for a house for a few years now. Sadly, they are ending their relationship on bad terms. Now, my mom keeps pressuring me to let her live with us. My dad is just cool and tells us to think wisely. Here's a quick little backstory. Me and my mom are from the Philippines, and now currently living at the Netherlands with my stepdad, who I do call dad. My mom has given me CPTSD, and I'm also bipolar. She's physically and emotionally abused me for years. Her reasoning for this is that it's to discipline me, so discipline means wearing a full body cover type of clothes to hide my injuries because, well, she hits me every day. And left me alone for 3 years because she met someone online. I was 9 years old. The last few years she has been depressed and does literally nothing other than watch YouTube on the couch. My dad has to do everything, cook food, walk with the dogs, etc. Because my mom would not lift a finger for him and everyone else, including the dogs. After 3 years, my dad is tired and is completely done with this behavior. He tried to talk to her about this and she would just ignore it. He asked me and my boyfriend for advice. I told him that my mom wants to go back to the Philippines because she's happier there. And I also told him that he deserves better than her. So, my dad eventually decided to divorce my mom. My dad is a very nice person and he definitely deserves more than her. My dad's a truck driver who works 65 hours a week. He's tired and not happy. Now, my mom's pressuring me that after we buy their house that she must live with us, for free by the way, and that we should kick my dad out because he isn't family. My boyfriend was not amused by this, and she would treat us like slaves. Okay, small update. First of all, thank you for the support. I must admit, I did not expect this post to get a lot of comments, but I'm grateful for all the advices. I will not let her live in our house ever. Me, my mom, boyfriend, and dad are going to talk about this on Saturday. I will keep you guys posted. She told me yesterday that I must tell my dad that she did not abuse me and that it was pure to discipline me. I said no way. I told her that she hit me every day, and I had a lot of injuries because of that. Our neighbors could hear me crying, and she denied, obviously. I can't wait to tell her she needs to get over herself and just go back to the Philippines. So, we talked. My dad said that he does not want to be with her anymore, and the reason is because he's just not happy with her. And it made a huge impact to him when I told him that she abused me, and that's why I have CPTSD now. My mom wanted me and my boyfriend to buy the house and that she would live with us. We told her no, and that the reason why is because of her history of abusing me. My mom denied everything about her abusing me and telling me just to off myself multiple times and that she regretted having me. She eventually told us that it was to discipline me and it's traditional in the Philippines to discipline your child by hitting them. So much they get injuries and bruises. My dad stepped in by telling her that this is not true and what she did was cruel and he can't be with someone who did this to their own child. So she disowned me. She told me I was a snake in the grass and a traitor, and that she's no longer my mother, so I said this: "Fine, you've never been a mother to me anyways." She told my dad that she wants a divorce and that she will not let us buy the house because we don't want her in it. I guess she has a right to say this, but I blocked her on every social media I have. I'm glad I told her how I feel. My dad's going to start with a divorce procedure. I'm happy for this. We all deserve a happy life. So recently, I-30 female went on vacation. While on vacation, I spotted at a couple of those wacky tourist shop. You know, those ones filled with crazy shot glasses and t-shirts. While in one of them, the cashier was wearing a shirt that said, "Not today, Karen." I told her I thought the shirt was funny, and she then tells me that they sell the shirts in the store. I, of course, rushed to buy one. Flash forward a couple days and I'm back home from vacation. I decided to go out for dinner instead of cooking, so I tossed on some clothes and headed to my favorite sushi place. I hadn't realized until I got there that I had tossed on my new "Not Today, Karen" t-shirt. Honestly, I don't think anything would happen because, come on, it's a t-shirt. Well, I was wrong. I go in, eat my fill of yummy sushi, and leave. As I'm heading to my car, I hear someone drastically and dramatically gasp in shock and then say loudly, "How dare you!" I turn to see what's going on, only to be met with a Karen marching right up to me, dragging her, I'd say 4-year-old looking daughter with her. She was the atypical Karen with a haircut to her overly priced, ill-fitting clothes. This bleach blonde menace gets right up in my face and starts shouting at me. "How dare you wear such an offensive shirt? That is a racist term. You might as well be wearing a shirt with the N-word on it." Mind you, she did not say the word, but the actual word with a hard R. Her daughter started wailing because her mother was screaming. And I kind of think because every time I took a step back, trying to avoid the literal spit flying from her mouth, she would sharply step forward, jerking her kid with her. As soon as she noticed her daughter crying, she started screaming about how I'm scaring her with my offensive shirt. She just kept going on, getting louder with every word. "You should be ashamed of yourself." She jabbed her freaking finger at me and started shouting about, quote, how people like me should be arrested for a hate crime. I rolled my eyes and turned to leave. I was full of sushi and honestly could not care less about her BS. I barely took a step forward when I was shoved from behind and nearly fell over. "Don't you dare walk away from me, you witch!" I readjusted myself, walked up in her face and said calmly, "Touch me again, see what happens." Well, she backed up and started shouting about how dare I threaten her and her daughter. I said she's the one who shoved me, and if she tried that again, she would regret it. She starts screaming about how I assaulted her and her daughter. "Someone call the police!" Apparently, Karen did not know that the sushi shop I was just in is a local favorite of the police. There was 12 officers in there eating, and all 12 witnessed the whole thing. Being a frequent to the sushi place, I'm a bit buddy-buddy with the cops that go there, because one of my close friends is an officer, and he always talked about me as I was a kid. Also, whenever I go in there, I like to help pay for their meals as a thank you for their service. 6 of the 12 in there know me and came rushing out. As soon as Karen saw them, she ran to them, again dragging her poor, wailing child with her, and said I assaulted her and was calling her horrible racist terms. The one cop, I'll call her Marge, walks over to me and asks me who started it. Marge and I go way back. Her trading officer was my family friend, and the two were so close as friends as he was with my family. I told her what happened and had to explain the whole Karen joke with her. She laughed, told I could go, and then she handled it. I thanked her and turned to leave. As soon as Karen noticed I was leaving, she screamed louder than ever, saying, "How dare you let that witch get away with hate crimes?" I left without much more fuss. Not sure what happened to Karen. I'm sure the next time I see Marge, she'll let me know. Can't believe I got attacked by a Karen. over a shirt. In my last post, I talked about how I went out to a sushi restaurant with a shirt that said, "Not today, Karen," and a random Karen screamed at me and pushed me. For those in the comment section going on and on about how fake my post was, forgive me for not laying out my entire life story for you for it to make sense. I know the local cops in my area because, well, I was close to an officer growing up, and often saw them at cookouts, pool parties, and stuff that he hosted. Because of being close to him and knowing the other cops, it had inspired me to be a cop when I got older. Unfortunately, due to an accident that crippled my right arm, I wasn't able to. I received sympathy and care from the cops that knew me, and was even rescued by Marge after I tried to kill myself. The sushi restaurant in question is 1. Close to the police station. 2. All you can eat. They go there when they're off duty for lunch, and yes, I pay for them when I go as a way of giving back to those that helped me through the most difficult time in my life. Also, to those wondering why I walked away without pressing charges, it's because Marge asked me to. Yes, she put her hands on me, and yes, I did want to charge her, but I trust Marge, and if she asked me to walk away, then I'll walk away. Now on to the quick update. I got a call from Marge the next day. I asked her what happened after I left, and she said she had tried to talk to Karen and get her to calm down. But Karen was far too enraged and only got louder. One of the other cops tried to reason with her by saying her child was upset and she needs to comfort her. Well, that didn't work. Marge said she couldn't tell me how it happened, but they ended up arresting her for assault of an officer after she slapped Marge across the face. They took her and her kid to the station and got the kid's grandma to come get her.